Imagine waking up one day to find your home reduced to ashes. Not just any home, but the place where you built your life and raised your family. All because of what you believe was sheer negligence by those in charge. That's the heartbreaking reality that's turned Spencer Pratt from a notorious reality TV bad boy into a passionate warrior for justice. But here's where it gets controversial. Is his rage justified, or is it just another celebrity stunt? Let's dive in and explore this gripping story that most people might overlook at first glance. It was a lazy summer morning in the picturesque Pacific Palisades when a flock of hummingbirds fluttered about the charred remains of Spencer Pratt's once stately 2,200 square foot, 3-bedroom home overlooking the hillside. For context, these tiny birds are symbols of resilience in nature, and Pratt, now 42, had been nurturing them with fresh nectar feeders for years. On the day the fire broke out, I was so convinced everything would be fine that I didn't even pack up. I just kept changing the feeders and adding nectar, he recalls, watching the birds hover. This scene of rebirth amidst destruction has become a powerful metaphor for him as he steps into an unexpected role. A fervent champion against the authorities he blames for failing to safeguard his beloved neighborhood during the devastating January wildfire. Once known as a mischievous troublemaker on MTV's hit reality show The Hills in the 2000s, where he and his wife Heidi shot to fame, Pratt has reinvented himself as a content creator, selling energy crystals, and now this activist persona. The hummingbirds are one of the rare things that bring a soft smile to his face. They're absolutely magical, he admits. But beneath that, he's consumed by a fierce, unyielding anger that's driving his every move. Visiting the site of their former home stirs up different emotions for the couple. Heidi often breaks down in tears, overwhelmed by the loss, while Spencer channels his grief into a raging determination. I come here and feel this intense fury building up. He shares, it's like a fuel source for me. We should be relaxing in our living room right now, not staring at ruins. He adds, everyone deals with trauma in their own way. I've poured all my energy into demanding accountability, proving this disaster was entirely preventable. Heidi, who admires her husband's boldness, sees it as heroic and inspiring. He's stepping way outside his comfort zone, setting a great example for our kids. She's focused more on rebuilding their life in the Santa Barbara area, where they've relocated. For fans who followed Pratt's chaotic antics online and on screen for 2 decades, this shift to hero mode might feel jarring. He's positioned himself against a lineup of villains in his own narrative. And for the first time, he's the one shining in the spotlight for doing good. The hummingbirds have made a comeback thanks to Pratt's ongoing efforts since the fire. To me, they're a sign of survival. Hummingbirds never quit, and neither will I, he says, drawing a personal parallel. But here's the part most people miss. Pratt is adamant that the Palisades Fire, California's third most destructive blaze, claiming 12 lives and obliterating over 6,000 structures, wasn't some unavoidable act of nature. This wasn't divine intervention. It was pure stupidity and neglect, he declares. Many locals in Los Angeles, especially in the Palisades, share this frustration, though few have been as vocal or persistent as Pratt in seeking answers publicly. Along with Heidi and other homeowners, Pratt has filed a lawsuit against the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power for their infrastructural breakdowns. He lists a series of grievances, starting with the official attitude of accepting wildfire risks in areas like his, which border wildlands. Why bother paying taxes if they can't protect us reliably, he questions. You can't just pin it all on climate change. It's about failing to prepare properly. He's equally outraged by leaders not swiftly punishing bureaucrats for their mistakes. In a private company, they'd fire everyone on the board, he points out. Pratt also vents about the chaotic property insurance landscape before the fire, where foreign companies swoop in to buy land from desperate sellers who intended to pass it to their heirs. He delves into how a small arson set fire on New Year's Day wasn't fully extinguished, sparking the massive inferno, and how firefighters weren't positioned nearby despite predictable winds. An official Los Angeles Fire Department report later highlighted major management flaws. And that's not the end of it. Pratt criticizes Fire Aid, a relief group that raised $100 million, arguing much of it was wasted, a claim the organization strongly disputes. He doesn't hold back on regulations for private property fire safety, like roofing and landscaping, when government agencies ignore their own rules for clearing brush and maintaining reservoirs on public land near homes. If I thought for a moment this wasn't preventable, I'd let it go, he insists. His relentless social media posts slamming Democratic-run local, state, and county agencies have drawn attention from national Republicans. Nowadays, alongside his signature t-shirt promoting Heidi's music career, he sports a cap declaring California Governor Gavin Newsom won't make it to the presidency. I get random texts from aides to Republican leaders like, "Hey, is this Spencer?" He laughs. In August and September, he visited Washington, D.C. twice, meeting with U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, her California prosecutor, and heads of the EPA and HUD. In L.A., he even approached the IRS Criminal Division about fire aid issues. Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott held a press event touring the Palisades with Pratt and announced a broad investigation into the events. Soon after, Kelly Loeffler, overseeing President Trump's Small Business Administration, joined Pratt on site and posted on X, formerly Twitter, that she's proud to stand with him in holding California officials accountable. Pratt rejects the label activist, seeing it as too loaded, like someone's on a government watch list. I don't see myself that way. He prefers advocate or simply taxpayer. Though he avoids defining his political leanings, he denies being a partisan or a tool for Trump-era politics. If Newsom and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass were Republicans, I'd be spitting the same facts, he says, noting the Palisades voted heavily for Kamala Harris in the last election. I'm fighting for mostly Democrats who lost their homes here. When asked about conservative billionaire developer Rick Caruso, a potential L.A. mayoral and California gubernatorial candidate whose Palisades retail spot survived, Pratt responds, "I'm not backing anyone in politics. I just love his Rosewood Miramar hotel." Broader still, Pratt is shocked at suspicions that a known opportunist like him might not be genuine here. He emphasizes his crusade has been a personal loss. "I should be promoting my crystals and Heidi's music instead," he laments. "This is the worst use of my time." He funds his D.C. trips out of pocket, hence selling Spencer for Governor shirts for proof. As evidence of his restraint, he recalls staying quiet during COVID lockdowns, which hurt his crystal business and a Hills reboot. "Did I publicly attack Newsom then? It would have been easy, but I kept quiet and took the hit," he shares. Pratt has been invited to speak on wildfires in Altadena and Maui, using his 4 million-plus social media followers, but he's declined. "I've learned to stick to my own lane," he explains. Yet, he's ramping up. In September, he tweeted, "I wish Fauci was in a black site." His efforts have already shaped policy. His online critiques of a wildfire rebuilding bill, which fact-checker Snopes called mostly inaccurate, stalled it in the legislature, prompting Newsom to call it disgraceful. Later, Pratt opposed a dense housing proposal, and Newsom exempted fire-prone zones. California Democrats view Pratt as a nuisance. Mayor Bass told the New York Times he's spreading confusion. And Newsom's deputy shared a meme juxtaposing old and new photos of Pratt, labeling it a bad body double. Pratt fired back, "My looks might improve if Newsom hadn't burned my town down. Stress has aged me years." State Senator Henry Stern, a Democrat, posted a 2010 article claiming Pratt was fired from the Hills to undermine him. Pratt countered on Instagram, debunking lies like Heidi firing him or threats to producers. "The producer suggested I punch my sister for ratings. I refused. Security was there. No threats, no danger. If true, why did NTV pay me $1 million to leave? Wildfire filmmaker Gabriel Mann, collaborating with Pratt on a Palisades disaster doc, calls the politicization unfortunate. Spencer would talk to anyone helpful, even Democrats like Alex Padilla or Adam Schiff, he says, but they won't engage. Pratt grew up in the Palisades, playing at the beach, hiking trails, and grabbing French dips at Mort's Deli after sports. His parents' nearby house was leveled, leaving only a cleaned pool. They now rent in Santa Monica. At least they've got an ocean view now, he jokes dryly. The Palisades isn't always sympathetic to outsiders. It was once seen as annoyingly perfect, and in recent years has become ultra-wealthy. Pratt speaks for old guard residents, upper middle-class folks, and lesser-known stars. That's my community. Shopping at Ralph's or Gelson's, not Erewhon, he says. He cherished raising his 8- and 2-year-old sons there. They attended my preschool, he remembers fondly, but he watched live footage of their bedroom catching fire. It was unreal. That's where I tuck them in at night. Their Fair Plan insurance covers basics, but not rebuilding. Most in our shoes have just given up and moved, he notes. They've had an unscripted family show in development at Hulu for years. We're still alive there, Pratt says. Though not greenlit, in today's TV, that's a win. He mentions the Nader sisters' new show, Love Thy Nader, and Heidi's recent music tour. No need to watch us sob on our lot. The Hills remains a sore spot due to the villain edit and lack of residuals. If I were an activist, it'd be for fair pay from reruns, he quips. His older son isn't into the show, but loves I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here, for its bugs and survival antics. He replays Heidi eating that rat tail endlessly. Recently, they started a video podcast, The Fame Game, taped at their scorched lot under a Heidiwood sign from Heidi's album. Episodes feature guests like former sheriff Alex Villanueva, whom Pratt supports despite his loss. They discuss Heidi's snub from a fire aid concert and personal struggles, like Pratt's fire-induced eczema treated with kombucha and probiotics. Soon, he'll film an indie with James Franco, playing himself despite Franco's controversies. In January, his memoir, The Guy You Love to Hate, Confessions from a Reality TV Villain, publishes. If it tops the charts, maybe I can rebuild. I just want my house back. Hummingbirds, TikToks, reality shows. Pratt finds it odd he's now known for policy rants. With the feds investigating, he's stepping back. I'm tired of this. Ready for Dancing with the Stars topics. And this is where controversy truly ignites. Is Pratt a genuine whistleblower or just capitalizing on tragedy for fame? Could his partisan leanings undermine his message, or is he a hero exposing systemic failures? What do you think? Should celebrities stay out of politics, or is this activism we need more of? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with his fury, or see it as misguided? Let's discuss.